Okay, so hopefully there won't be any problems with this recording. This is the first video that I've made like this since I factory reset my phone and restarted everything. So, hi. Ooh, why are we going black? I don't like that. Don't do that. I'm clearly using the phone. Anyways, I am drinking some chai tea with milk. So good. It's so fattening. I'm so frozen. Why? Oh, I'm back. But did it stop recording? I don't know. Okay, maybe if I make myself smaller. See, I told y'all I was having... Can't even touch myself here. Sorry. Not what I meant. Anyways. I'm having a rough day. I have been sitting around all day waiting for the building manager who promised me yesterday that he would be here today to work on the plumbing and to give me another key. So I've been hanging out here going stir crazy. I'm frozen again. Janky equipment, isn't it a bitch? To stir this up, it looks like there's a bunch of the chai at the bottom. Thankfully, this is the last bit of the chai that I had, because I have gone through a half a carton of milk. I'm gonna get so fat, but it's okay because I'm manifesting it all into my tits. Eat whatever you want, just manifest it into your tits. It's fine. I would manifest it into my ass, but I'm white. There's only so much even manifesting can do. But my tits need to be inflated again. I used to have this friend who, when I went to do live shows, like the audience work that I used to do, he would always talk and preach to me about manifesting things. So it makes me laugh. It's a joke to me, but okay. What we're going to do now, because I am going stir crazy sitting around waiting for the building manager to come in, is we're going to watch some audit videos from Lackluster's channel. This one, I believe, was just put in yesterday. Somebody called 911 and reported a gun for somebody who was just had a camera. So that's always a fun time. Hopefully Lackluster doesn't mind me using this video or the next one that I'm going to use.
There's a gentleman out in our yard with a gun.
We gotta call someone with a gun.
Who
Who called the police and said someone had a gun? For a guy who's just recording people and trying to get under people's skin.
Apparently this guy broke this guy's camera. He wants to be a victim. Does he have a right to videotape? Yes.
Yes.
Does he have a right to not identify himself?
Yes.
100%. He doesn't even have to identify himself to us.
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. Today's story features Slow County Observer.
I'm already upset with the officer. The whole he wants to be a victim thing. It sounds like he's just kind of mocking him when something has apparently happened that victimized him.
I've covered his encounters with law enforcement before, including his lawsuit against the County of Santa Cruz, the Santa Cruz County Sheriff, and the court director. That lawsuit is still ongoing and should have an update soon. Today's incident occurred on February 16th of 2022 outside of Peninsula Crane in San Jose. Slow was walking around in an industrial area, live streaming from the public sidewalk. When he reached Peninsula Crane, the owner of the business ran out to the sidewalk to confront Slow about what he was doing.
Why don't you watch your language, dude?
Hey, you're obviously being obnoxious to me by not giving me answers.
I'm actually being pretty polite.
Well-
you're the one yelling at me.
Okay. Well, I want you to explain what your presence
No.
and why you're videotaping my
No,
yard.
I'm not going to tell you any of that.
Okay.
Okay, so anybody demanding an explanation for why you exist someplace is being obnoxious themselves. The whole, you're not telling me what I want to know, so you're aggravating me. What right do you have to know?
Alright. This guy with you?
Fucking A, yes. Oh well.
Within the first few
Oh,
moments
well.
of the encounter, the business
No.
owner has now ripped the camera off of Slow's tripod and throws it against the wall behind them. The camera ends up in the bushes, but Slow is recording from multiple devices.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of violent when I get upset. There would not have been an oh well. If you take something of mine and break it, something of yours is going to get broken, and it's probably going to be a bone. Like, you're not putting your hands on my things and breaking them and then saying, oh well. I will break your fucking face and say, oh well.
Where are you videotaping? This guy just grabbed my camera,
Oh well.
broke it, and
Right.
threw it over there in the bushes. Why are you over here videotaping kids?
You're probably a perv.
Kids. Does this man in the glasses look like a child? Like, why is he accusing them of of filming children when he's very clearly filming this douche nugget who is very, very clearly not a children. He is an adult. He is an asshole adult who has just put his hands on another adult and broken his equipment. Why are you coming at him and like, well, you're filming children? No, he fucking wasn't. He was filming this asshole who was obviously not a child.
This guy.
That's what they do to demonize you. They have to have a reason for why they just attacked you. They can't just step back and say, I may have just overreacted and attacked somebody. What have I done? What can I do to fix this? I just physically assaulted another human being. What have I done? No, they can't do that. They have to call in other people and say, look at what he is. He's filming children. There's no children here, but he's filming children. He must be a pervert. He must be a bad person. I obviously wouldn't have attacked him if he wasn't a bad person, right? Because that makes me a bad person. Oh well.
Right here. This is the one.
You tell this guy pisses me off.
Grabbed my camera off of it, ripped it off,
Alright.
and threw it in the bushes. Go ahead, call the cops.
I fucking am.
Yeah. You're gonna pay for that camera too.
I ain't fucking doing shit.
You're gonna pay for that camera.
You ain't doing shit.
You ain't doing shit, bitch. You're gonna pay for that camera. Whether you want to or think so or not, you've just filmed yourself breaking another human being's property. You will pay for it.
Look at what he did.
Send you to fucking jail.
You ain't sending me nowhere. You're the one that's gonna end up going to jail, if anything.
The owner of the property that Slow was not on now calls the cops, somehow thinking that filming in public is an arrestable offense.
Sounds the emergency. How may I help you?
Oh yes, good morning. My name is Stan. My company is Peninsula Crane and Rigging. Can you send an
Wish they had
officer?
bleeped his
I
name.
have a suspicious person who is videotaping my property, and
Okay.
they won't explain himself.
I have a suspicious man here who does not know what he's doing with his life and needs to call the police over a camera.
And how long has the person there?
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank
How
you.
long has he been there?
And how long's he been
Hello?
there?
After hanging up on dispatch, they call the business owner back.
Why do you hang up?
This is Stan.
Oh, hi.
Okay, I know I'm pausing this a lot, but why the fuck would he hang up on 911? Like, do you want help or not? So if they're asking you questions to actually be able to send you help and you're hanging up on them, that's going to be considered not an emergency because the person calling didn't even see it as a strong enough emergency to stay on the goddamn phone and keep 911 updated on what was happening. If you don't care enough to give the accurate details, stay on the line and work with the police, why do you think the police are going to rush their asses over to you? It sounds like you're a child playing on the phone, and you have to hang up because you just got caught by mom.
Sam, this is San Jose Police. Is that gentleman still there?
Yes, he is. And
Okay.
he's looking to move.
Okay.
Titty itches.
Where is he
That's
at
good
on the
sign.
property?
He won't.
Okay, sir. On the property, where is he?
He is videotaping my property from the sidewalk.
So he's on the sidewalk. Okay, I
What is
understand,
it?
but he's in front of the business, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And does he have any weapons?
No, he has cameras.
Okay, does he look drunk or on drugs?
I do not have the ability to search him, ma'am.
Okay, that's fine. I
You
just have to
asked
ask
me to
these
search
questions.
him.
Oh, thank you. Okay, what race is he, sir?
I do not have the ability to search him. You don't have to search somebody to know whether they have a weapon or a gun or are acting violently. That's something you can very clearly see. Like that dude in the subway that rushed me that day with the knife. I didn't have to search him to see the goddamn knife. If he has a weapon and he's being violent towards you, you can easily see that weapon without searching the person. That's a big tell that he is lying or at least withholding information from the 911 operator to get the kind of response that he wants, which is to make them think that this man has committed a crime. He wants them to think that he's armed, even though he knows he's not armed with anything other than a camera.
It doesn't matter, ma'am.
Well, we need to know his description, so that's why I'm asking. What race is he?
Description is approximately 5'8" to 10. He has a light dark black beard.
And how long has he been out there?
I don't know, but he was spotted videotaping and so forth. And when I asked him to cease and desist, he refused and won't identify who he is.
Okay.
So.
He's
Thank you,
near me
ma'am.
and he won't
Okay,
give me his
how do you
freedom
spell your
to
last name, sir? I can't spell it.
It's ridiculous.
Whatever.
Hello?
You can comment on
Hello?
what you want, sir. It doesn't matter to
I can
anybody.
comment too. You're a fat motherfucker.
The business owner again hangs up on the dispatcher, and then the entitled man grew even more
Again.
impatient and called 911 a second time to request an ETA.
Wait, okay. Oh, right. Okay, he called once and they called him back. I was like, this would be the third time he's called then, but no, that second audio came from when they had to call him back, and he once again hung up, once again proving that this is not an emergency. Any 911 operator, dispatcher, would be very well aware, just by the fact that this man has hung up twice, that this is not an emergency. There should not even be cops on the way, aside from to deal with the fact that the camera was broken at this point. Because this man is treating the police like they are his personal bodyguards. He does not care about their time. He does not care enough to even stay on the line and tell them what's happening.
San Jose Emergency, what are you reporting?
Yes, good morning. I called in earlier requesting an officer. I was wondering if you had an ETA. The man is still here, and he's videotaping across from a school.
One of the man's employees also calls and lies to the dispatcher, reporting Slow as possibly armed.
There's a man out here who is standing on the sidewalk. He keeps taking pictures of the kids at the school across the street. Our owner went out there to try and figure out what's going on. Now they're taking pictures of him. He looks like he's got something in his back pocket. It almost looked like a gun. Someone needs to get out here right now.
So so we've already got the call there, and I want you to slow down for a minute. What makes you guys think it's a gun in the back pocket?
I don't know. It looks funny. It's got something that looks like a handle. I'm just saying. I'm not getting close enough to the son of a bitch to...
It's got a handle. Lots of things have handles, sweetheart. And you're not going to get close enough to find out, but you're perfectly fine saying that it's definitely a gun. Looks like a gun. Not getting close, but it has a handle. This woman should be charged with abuse of 911. She's mentioned children when there are no children involved. Like, there may be a school on the other side of the street, but I've yet to see a child in any of this footage. So she's mentioning children. She's mentioning a suspicious person with a gun. She is trying to get this man swatted and like murdered by police. She is trying to get the police to come out and shoot this man in the face. Because that's the reaction you're going to get if you tell them that there is somebody with a gun near a school full of children acting suspicious, which is not what this man is doing at all. She's straight up lying to 911, and she should be held accountable for it, but she probably won't be.
But so where are the officers?
Ma'am, they're going to get it away. What color is the handle?
It's black. Please, just hurry. I've got to go.
When officers don't
Why?
arrive in record speed, the woman calls
gotta go?
back, making her presumption of a gun even more deliberate.
Sorry, why do you have to go? You had the time to call 911. What is now so important that you have to go? Has the man with the gun started coming towards you? Are you now in danger? Is that what you're wanting them to believe? Once again, she is trying to get this man murdered. This is...
Yes, you guys need to send a police officer or more than one. There's a gentleman out in our yard with a gun, I believe.
What is a gun?
With
It
a
looks
gun.
like he has a gun.
Where?
He
I'm
has
telling you
a
what,
gun.
if you guys don't cut
Ma'am, ma'am.
minutes, I'm
Ma'am.
calling all the
Ma'am.
stations.
Ma'am.
What?
A gun where?
Wow. She very clearly just said there is a man with a gun. He has a gun. She knows he does not have a gun.
I'm calling all the stations.
Ma'am.
What?
A gun where?
What? In his bag.
Okay, one moment.
Hurry up.
Okay. Stay on the phone with me.
The woman hangs up again. Now, the multiple hang-ups, reports of a gun and school children prompted a Code 3 multiple agency response of over a dozen officers of the San Jose Police Department and the county sheriff's office.
Oh, hey, look, now there's a fucking gun. Now there's guns on the scene. Now she can legally say there's motherfuckers out here looking suspicious across from a school with guns. Oh, well, they have police badges and we called them, but...
Well, this guy looks like the guy they're describing. Hi, sir, can I help you?
My camera off my stand right here.
Yeah. Okay. We got a call of someone with a gun?
No,
Do you have a gun?
I have that.
Okay. You're free to record me. I don't care. I'm recording you. So we need to get a report of you, male with sunglasses, mask, bag with the gun, okay? So you can record me. You can leave that there. I just got to make sure I'm safe.
All right, go for it, man.
So,
I don't have any.
okay, I'm just going to take your bag off, okay?
So I can.
Yeah, take it off,
Well,
please.
it's good, buddy.
Okay, that's fine. Like I said, I'm just trying to be safe, okay? Now we can deal with this appropriately. Okay? So just relax. You're going to have to put the tripod away. I'm going to pad search you for weapons. There's a report.
He doesn't look black, so why is the guy not willing to go to race?
Okay. Well, I just got to make sure. We're obviously, they might have exaggerated, but that's what we're here to figure out. Well, that's what it sounds like. So, just separate your legs for me, please. All right. Just going to hold on to your bag real quick. I'm not taking it. Here.
The cops should be able to tell by this point.
Go ahead and give me this body camera. Sounds like 51 Charles
That they
4.
lied.
You can shut down any incoming code 3. Go back to normal. This sounds like some kind of civil issue.
Yes.
So what happened?
I was recording from the sidewalk upstairs. Okay. This guy didn't like it, so we just grabbed my camera and threw it in the bushes. That's everything. It caught it on live stream.
Okay. Do you know them or what's going on?
Oh, I don't know them at all. I was just checking out their crane. They have like cranes and stuff.
Oh, you don't know them at all? You're
I
just
don't know them at
recording?
all.
Okay.
Just a random dude.
I
Okay.
still don't see the school that they kept
call him
saying
the guy
he
with the
was
gun.
filming.
So this
They
you get this
have this
response.
kind of
Is that a
response.
school?
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Behind
kind
you?
of response.
Now they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, it doesn't look like me.
11, 12.
God damn it, why is my titty itching?
Well, there's a lot of trainees out
Figure
here.
it out. For sure.
They called him the guy with the gun, you know. In this day and age, you would want this kind of
That
response,
sounds
right?
like a crime to me, man. There's lots.
I don't know. I came out from another area, but we were the first here, so.
Is it cool if I Go ahead, the sign over here.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. Yeah, that's fine.
It's my.
We're not going to search it. We're just making sure, trying to figure out what's going on. But obviously you're recording, so I wouldn't imagine that you have a gun, because then you kind of snitch yourself out if you did, right?
I have there's pepper spray in there.
That's fine.
These guys wanted this kind of response, guys. That's how it goes.
I can tell you right now, it's not cool if they called in a guy with a gun and
Yeah.
there is no guy with a gun.
That's what happened. Man. They asked me if I had a gun. I was like, no. I don't have a gun.
Well, it sounds like they weren't too cooperative either. So, you know, they call a guy in with a gun in front of a school. This is what you.
Of course. Yeah, I understand.
You can understand that, right?
I totally get that.
I was cool with you, right? Like,
you were cool.
You know.
You were cool. You didn't cut me. Props for that.
Well,
It's pure
I've been doing this long
entitlement
enough to tell, like,
that
the guy with the gun isn't going to have the camera and, you know, all that.
Definitely.
And flag me down. Hey, you know.
right. It's pure entitlement. Because both the woman and the men that were dealing with this person wanted the police there right then. They wanted the police to abandon the actual crime that was happening and come straight away for a guy with a camera. So they had to say, gun, kids, hurry, hang up, make them upset, make them scared, make them worried, make them drop everything and rush right out to the man with the gun. And it was all just because they couldn't wait. Like, if they had called the first time, stayed on the line with the dispatcher, told her everything, eventually the police would have come because a crime was committed when the man broke his camera. But that's not an emergency. You're not going. This is the kind of person who goes to the emergency room with like a stuffy nose and insists on being seen first, cuts ahead of the person bleeding and insists that their stuffy nose is more important and they must be seen immediately. There's other things more important in life than a man with a camera, and you don't get to exaggerate to the point of emergency just because you're a little uncomfortable with a camera. You might want to ask yourself what you're doing in your life that makes you so uncomfortable with a camera just kind of being around. What are you afraid of being caught doing? Like, honestly, what are you doing that you are so terrified of 5 or 10 minutes of your life being caught on camera? What is that woman, what are these men doing that is so private?
Yeah, you always got to be ready for it, but I use my experience, you know, like.
What's your name, sir?
Silva?
Silva.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of trainees and you guys that might have thrown you out anyways.
Okay. I think we're looking at a PC-211. I want to get this guy.
This shit has a lot of
So those officers are investigating. Okay. We're just here to help. We're the closest. We got dispatched from a different area. What do we need over here? Because it's a big nothing. Well, he wants to press charges for this guy vandalizing his camera.
Broke my camera. Camera's supposed to be right here.
So who's beat it?
It's in the bushes over there right now.
I don't know. Can you go figure that out with whoever's on your team? I know it's on my team.
After speaking with Slow and realizing he is not a threat and has done nothing wrong, a few of the deputies start searching for the broken camera.
Apparently this guy broke this guy's camera. Okay. He wants to be a victim. Right. We're gonna go look for the piece. I'm sorry. Apparently he broke a piece of it.
The he wants to be a victim thing still annoys me. He's not wanting to be a victim. He is a victim, officer. Another man took his property and threw it. That is a crime. You do not get to just take another person's camera or phone or anything and just throw it away as if it's garbage just because you don't think that they should have it or you don't like what's being done with it. That is literally a crime. And this officer is acting like it's no big deal because he probably doesn't like First Amendmenters, which the officer has probably gotten in some trouble himself with First Amendment auditors if he's this against helping the victim of the crime, instead of just mocking him and saying, well, he wants to be a victim. Sorry, we have to go through all of this work because he wants to be a victim. No, he doesn't. He didn't want to be a victim. He was victimized, and you need to do your job.
This guy's camera off and threw it over here, so we're gonna go look for it real quick.
So what happened today exactly, Rue?
I'm sorry.
It's a small handy cam. Sorry, let me
I saw what?
Small handy cam. So it's about
How large do you
6
think?
inches by 2 inches.
He didn't want to come look for it because he didn't want to go onto their property.
Found it.
That's another thing. It
Is
sounds
that
like
Sony one?
he wasn't filming on their property. He was on the sidewalk, which was legal, public. Where he threw the camera was on their property. So if he had gone and retrieved his property from their property, they probably legally could have had him arrested or something for trespassing. So it was very wise of this man to wait for the police to gather his camera back, because it seems like it was a very deliberate act to throw the camera from somewhere where it was legal and public to be to somewhere where he could get in trouble if he went and got it back. He was trying very hard to create a crime where there was no crime.
Can I? Oh.
I'll go around.
So that's the camera from?
That's with me.
How many other cameras are going to be back there? How many cameras do they think this man has taken? Is he a serial camera thief?
Yeah, just of the damage.
While those deputies were looking for the camera, another group was interviewing the business owner that threw it, affirming that Slow had a right to film and no legal requirement to identify himself to a stranger, let alone an officer.
This gentleman over here with the black hoodie was outside the south gate, videotaping inside and whatever. I went out and identified myself, and I asked him what he was doing, asked him to identify himself and what he was doing.
Okay.
And he refused.
And where was he standing at? On the sidewalk?
He was on the sidewalk.
Okay, so he has
Yes, he has a right to be on the sidewalk.
Yes,
But does he have a right to videotape?
Yes, you're in public view.
Okay. But does he have a right to not identify himself?
Yes, 100%.
He doesn't even have to identify himself to us.
He's doing a First Amendment right. He has a First Amendment right to record. There's nothing wrong with film recording. If you don't want to be recorded, you can go inside, away from the camera's view.
Is there a gun scene?
I don't know, man.
They reported that there was a gun scene for us.
I don't know. I know one of our guys said he had his hand in his pocket inside his bag when they first seen him, and they didn't know if he had a gun or not.
Okay, it's still
We're
recording.
gonna
Sorry about that.
reverse whoever he called on that phone and figure out who's saying he has a gun.
Eventually, one of the officers attempts to find the woman that called frantically, hanging up after claiming that Slow had a gun.
Which one called and said there's a gun?
None of them were saying it.
None of them.
Hey,
No,
find out
somebody
who it was,
definitely
because
said gun.
there needs to be some prompts. There's gonna be some prompts. What female is calling? We need to speak to her right now because she lied to us, and that's a big issue. So find out what female inside your guys' business called us here for this kind of response. So we'll go inside and find out.
Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can. I thought it would have a pause button or something. I do not. This might not even be recording. That would suck. I'm not enjoying the app right now, no. Hey, I'm one person again. Awesome. Oh, god damn it. This is the stupidest fucking song to get stuck in my head. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Sorry. When you're living a dream. People who haven't seen the Lego movie are like, what the fuck is this?
Because it's ridiculous. Who called the police and said someone had a gun?
What is
I
this?
called the police and said it looked like he had something that looked like
Okay, well, we need you to come outside and talk to us. Because no one said, everyone out here saying that nobody said he had a gun. And that's a very serious
I
accusation.
know. It looked like he had a gun in
No,
his
she
back pocket.
definitely said.
That's why I was terrified when I called.
Someone said he has a gun.
I said, it looks like he has a gun in his back pocket. They said, where is it?
Let's go back and hear it again. Exactly. Hold on. I don't know what they're fucking chainsawing. Well, maybe they are chainsawing. Maybe they're fixing the fucking ceiling.
So we've already gotten a call there, and I want you to slow down for a minute. What makes you guys think it's a gun in the back pocket?
I don't know. It looks funny. It's got something that looks like a handle. I'm just saying. I'm not getting.
It is the handle.
Of a gun even more deliberate.
Yes, you guys need to send a police officer or more than one. There's a gentleman out in our yard with a gun, I believe.
What is it?
Right? She's telling the police now, no, I never said he had a gun. I never said he had a gun, officer.
Making her presumption of a gun even more deliberate.
Yes, you guys need to send a police officer or more than one. There's a gentleman out in our yard with a gun, I believe.
What is a gun?
A
It
gun,
looks like he has a gun.
Oh, he has a gun, huh? Does he? Does he have a gun? Janie's got a gun. Sorry.
The man turned around.
Who called the police and said someone had a gun?
People upstairs apparently have chainsaws.
Okay,
They might
well, we
be
need you to
cutting
come
through the
outside and
floor
talk
to
to
get
us.
the plumber.
Because no one said, everyone out here saying that nobody said he had a gun, and that's a very serious
I
accusation.
know. It looked like he had a gun in his back pocket.
Did he?
That's why I was terrified when I called.
Bitch annoys me.
Someone said he has a gun.
I said, it looks like he has a gun in his back pocket. They said, where is it? I said, it looks like it's in his back pocket. And they said, what color is
But
it? And I said,
why are we
black.
calling in the first place? Because he says he's just out here recording. So what's the issue?
What do you mean, what's the issue?
So how did this whole thing present itself that we're calling the police to say someone has a gun who has no
He's
gun?
been out here. He was taking video and pictures of the school kids.
Okay.
And then my owner went out.
What do you mean, what's the issue? What's the issue? I lied. What's the problem? Don't y'all get it? I fucking lied. That's what the issue is.
And he started trying to incite the owner. And then our other gentleman went out with him, Shamir. And so I brought my dog out here to go pee, and the man turned around, and I saw something in his back pocket. And it scared the hell out of me, and I came in right away, and I called the police.
She's easily frightened.
I said, it looks like he has a weapon in his
She
back
should have
pocket.
shook the dog on him.
Man, my problem too with this whole situation is if you're the one calling is why are you hanging up on our call takers?
I was coming out here to see what was going on.
Okay,
No.
ma'am, everything I
You still
understand
don't
if
get
you
to
thought he had a
just hang
weapon,
up.
I'm fine with that. But what you did if because he doesn't have a weapon at all.
Oh, thank
okay?
God. Okay.
No, it's not you cannot.
Thank God nobody's in danger and I'm just a big ugly liar. Thank heavens you guys can go. We've had fun. No, bitch, you need to be charged. You fucking... She is acting so much like she has done nothing wrong. It is aggravating.
You cannot generate a response like that and hang up on our call takers. It's so far from okay. It's just ridiculous. If you were that scared, why would you keep coming back outside?
I didn't come outside. I came to the door to watch what was
You
going
stay on the
on.
phone with our call takers if you call 911. This response that you got today is ginormous for a guy who's just recording people and trying to get under people's skin.
Is that what he's doing?
I don't know. I wasn't here, but that's exactly what it seems like. And to call like that and hang up on our call takers, it's a big deal.
Well,
And it's
I'm
a big
very
issue.
sorry.
It's
I didn't mean
you
it.
don't get to hang up. People don't call our call takers and get to hang up like that. Their job is to give us updates so people don't get hurt.
Right. I just told them, please get someone out here immediately.
Man, we read what you guys told them, and it wasn't that.
Immediately.
You said, yes, he has a gun, and he has a gun.
Get them out here immediately for a gentleman with a camera. For a gentleman with multiple cameras who is live streaming currently, and if he was actually committing a crime, the police would have seen it on the live stream that is still running, bitch. People who have no idea what's happening, making assumptions and trying to force that reality. Manifest it. manifest the criminal in that camera. Manifest that camera into a gun, bitch. Say it enough times, it'll be real. At least to you.
Yes, he does, and he placed it in his bag. I just saw him place it in his bag.
To be completely fair, the woman used less assertive language than the officer is attempting to portray, but it seems fairly obvious that she intended to have a large police presence descend down upon Slow. Only she knows in her heart whether or not she was intentionally bending the truth to use tax-funded armed agents of the state to initiate violence on a man who, even if he had a gun, did nothing wrong. The most aggressive and dangerous thing anyone on scene did was what this Karen did. It doesn't even compare to throwing the camera. Now, in an amazing twist, perhaps for the first time in world history, the officers, speaking to the business owner, confirms all the information channels like mine, Slow County Observer, and thousands of others have been trying to say for many years.
All I asked for was to identify himself.
He doesn't have to.
Okay, so it's okay to videotape across the street from a school.
Yes, they try to audit us too. They'll come up to us and try to pull First Amendment stuff and try to trip us up. They're baiting you into getting yourself in trouble.
That's fine.
Right? And now look at all the amount of cops that came because you were telling him to ID himself.
Well, I didn't do anything about it. All I asked for was assistance.
Like, you didn't do anything? Kinda have your own film breaking his equipment. You don't get to sit around saying, I didn't do anything. Also, they seem so upset that he's filming their property that he is going to break this other man's property. Like, what are your values? Where are your values that you believe your property is important, but everybody else's is disposable? Just filming my property means that I can destroy your property, which means that he does not see, like, other people's property as mattering in the least little bit. He does not seem concerned by the fact that he's committed a criminal act by breaking this man's property, when only because, well, I was afraid of my property being filmed. What is on your property that is so suspicious that you don't want it filmed, sir?
His point across, right?
If you say so, ma'am. You're allowed to videotape even though somebody has said that please stop videotaping. I have a personal thing. They have that ability.
Yes.
You have no right to privacy in public.
Thank you for
He
that.
may be up to something weird. It's suspicious, right? Why is he doing this? But it's not. He doesn't have to identify himself.
Doesn't have to identify himself. Okay. All right. Thank you for that information.
Now that the camera is found, the business owner violates his own right to remain silent and confesses to the crime.
He found his camera. Did you see if anyone took his camera from him?
I put my hand over it to get him to stop, so forth, and close it.
And then grab it and flung it and said, oh well.
Attempt to close, he pulled back and broke off the little mallet.
And did you throw it?
Yes, I did. Okay. Because he was continuing videotape, he would just sit there and harbor on that and so forth. I did remove it from this.
Oh, he was gonna keep harping on it. You didn't give him time to harp on anything. It's filmed, dude. You grabbed it and tossed it. He's trying to make it sound like he closed it gently and the man was antagonistic about it, so he had to throw it. He was forced to throw it onto his own property. Forced. No. Your own emotions and ego might make you feel like you're being forced to fight back and be violent, but that does not mean that the other person is actually forcing you to do anything.
Okay, because if you own public property, you can pretty much record and do whatever you want to. A lot of people do that at our police department, and there's really nothing that we can do. Right? So
Sorry.
it was
He
were to come here in your parking lot.
Yes, he was antagonizing and so forth, and I know, but that was the only thing. After that,
What was he saying? Why was he recording? Did he say?
He refused to say anything.
Doesn't matter.
I asked him to identify. He told me it was none of my business.
He should
I
have
asked
told
him
you,
why he
oh
was
yeah.
recording, and
and so forth, and he told me it's none of my business.
He was on the sidewalk, right?
Yes.
Well, if
The
it's not your
business owner
business,
was cited for vandalism.
So, you are going to get a criminal citation for vandalism? Okay.
In the end, I feel somewhat bad for the business owner. Many people who watch these videos frown upon conducting audits on persons other than government employees. Regardless of how you feel about that issue, it is clear that this incident is a result of the failed education system in the United States. Negative rights, such as freedom of speech and press, are very basic, but the emotions caused by another expressing those rights can bear a significant weight on another's mental health if they don't fully understand what those rights are, why.
sorry, I'm going to read these out. Negative versus positive rights. Negative rights. The kind of rights which impose on others a negative duty. A duty not to do anything, a duty of non-interference. If I have a right of this sort, all you have to do is respect that right. To respect that right is to refrain from blocking me. Negative rights are sometimes called liberties. Positive rights. The kind of right which impose on others a positive duty, a duty to provide or act in a certain way. If I have a right of this sort, you respect it by complying. Go away, damn it. Positive rights are also sometimes called entitlements.
Those rights are so important, and why it's crucial to safeguard and teach them to the public. We are more easily controlled as a people if we are kept in the dark. Our individual liberties are effortlessly stripped away when we are unaware of them and fail to respect them in others. The very system that the business owner thought would help him is the same system that failed to teach him how catastrophic it would be without liberty. I personally wish it didn't take an act of violence for him to learn these simple concepts, but I hope the exposure makes him more aware of his own freedom. It is not clear whether or not he fought the citation. However, Slow's lawyer, Dan Neer, has sent demand letters that have yet to be answered. A civil complaint is prepared and should be filed within the next couple weeks. Stay tuned, as I have more stories being worked on that highlight corrupt cops and
Okay. So I just wanted to comment on the last thing he said, which is that the people are more easily controlled if they're in the dark. And here in America, a lot of people don't see it, but most Americans don't have a decent education. Like, you'll notice, like, Trump and George Bush, they talked very juvenile, very kind of, they didn't speak above an 8th grade reading level because they wanted to make sure that the dullest Americans could understand them. Obama wasn't a bit of an exception to this, but most of the presidents in our history have kind of spoken, they speak to us like we're children, and the reason they do that is because we are only educated so much in the public systems that many of us are kind of children. Unless you have the money to go to the good schools, you're not going to get further than like even if you graduate high school, you're probably not going to have more than an 8th grade education. Deliberately. They want us to be stupid so that they can control us easier. That's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy theory, but it's one that I ascribe to. I mean, I went to public school, so. Anyways, I don't know if this video is even still filming because of all of the glitchiness and problems that I'm having, so I was going to do 2 of these videos for this, but I'm just going to do this one because, like I said, I don't even know if this is filming. I may have just wasted the last 40 minutes. 44 minutes.